Hi everyone, it's Laura from Laura's Handcrafted Treats and Treasures. Welcome to or back to my channel. All right, I'm here with another little project of, is it a card or is it a page layout? Number 5. I am going to be using some of Carolyn's Musings papers, and this is the Breath of Spring collection. Now this is going to be for another project, but I just wanted to show you this because this is something I am working on. And if you follow my channel, you've seen I have done a recipe book. And this was my first starter one, and then I kind of switched it over, but I have plans for this one. So we'll set this one aside for now, but be on the lookout for it because it's coming. All right, so I have put together another little card here that I would like to use in a journal. So let me grab a journal here. So for instance, if you've watched any of the other ones, when you put this in, you're going to glue, you can glue the three sides, and then you can have this as another tuck spot, or you can glue these 3 sides and have this as a tuck spot. I think for this one, I'm probably going to glue the 3, depending on how thick it comes out, because I did use cardstock paper with this, but we'll get into all of that. Okay. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to go ahead and use this marbled paper. It just matched these papers so well. And this I think I got from Hobby Lobby. It came in a pack that had like 5 different marbled shades, beige in that. So that's what I'm going to be using. Now I have gone ahead and I've cut my pieces out to kind of speed this up a little bit. So I have done all of the measurements, so let's just go through them really quick and you can jot them down or you can refer back to this video. So my first piece to make the card is going to be 6.5 by 7.5. That's this one. And then I'm going to need this flap here. So this flap is going to be 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. Then I'm going to need this flap here. So this flap is 2.5 by 3 3/4. I'm going to need the little pocket that I've put on this side. And this is just my prototype. And it's going to be 2.5 by 3 3/8. And then I'm going to need the pocket that goes on this side. And this one is 2 1/4 by 6 3/4. However you want to write that. I write mine different every time. I don't know. I can't keep it in sequence. But anyway, that's for that pocket. Now, if you want, you can just take the designer paper, or I just put... that's what the DP means. You could just print out digital paper front and back and get this, and then it might not be as thick. After I printed mine out on the cardstock, I thought, oh, if I would have done that on just a 28-pound copy paper, it probably isn't going to be as thick. But anyway, let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and get these scored. I'll go through that with you. But here's some papers that I've already been working with. So I decided that I'm going to use these, and that's going to be used to layer the pieces once I get it all put on there. This, I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to use this for the inside of the card. And I didn't need like the whole sheet of both of them. So I decided to print 2 to a page, and then you get this. So I'm going to get those cut out after I go through the scoring with you. So we're going to take our first piece, which is going to be our card. Basically, you're kind of working on a card, but it's going to be your page layout. And I'm going to take that, let's see, and it's going to be at, where are we at here? Get off. I'm at the 7.5 length by 6.5 over here. And I'm going to score this at 3 inches. Okay, so I'm going to score that at 3 inches. And I did this thing 3 times last night because I just couldn't get it right. I don't know, but I wasn't going to do anything anyway. I was just playing. And then if you know when you're scoring things and making cards with this dent scored in, this is what you want to fold back because it gives you a nicer edge here. And that's not going to matter on the other stuff, but I just get myself in a habit of doing it. Okay, so now we are going to take the 3/4 by 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and we want it to go this way. And then we're going to score this at 1/4 inch. I got like tape or something all over. And then I'm just going to go ahead, fold that back while I'm at it. I'm now going to take the 2.5 by 3 3/4, which is this one. And then I'm going to score this end, the shorter end, at 1/4 inch. And fold that one back. Okay. Now, when I got to the pocket, I only scored on 3 sides. And because I wanted this to fit within here without hindering the seam, my scoring is a little bit different. So I'm going to score one of the short sides at 1/4 inch. Hope I'm in shot here. I'm going to score one of the long sides at 1/4 inch. And now this side, I'm actually going to score at 3/8. I don't know why I have that one in there, but I'm going to go over to the 1/8, 3/8. It's just past the 1/4. So 1 notch past the 1/4, and I'm going to score that. The reason I did that is, like I said, once I got to folding it, it just didn't, it didn't fit in this space very well. And it would just work that way in my brain. I may trim a little bit of that off. Instead of doing the measurement that way, I was just like, just score it. Just score it. And then, of course, you're going to do your folds. And then we're going to go ahead and take this pocket. And this pocket is going to be scored at 3/8 inch and on each side. So I'm going to do the same thing. I wanted it, excuse me, I wanted it to fit in between. So I'm going to do 3/8, 3/8, and then I'm going to score the long side at 1/4 inch. Now the reason I'm not scoring these is I want this nice fold at the top for my pocket, but I did not want to add extra bulk here because I'm actually putting things, and I just decided to do the same thing there. I often do that. All right, so we've got our scoring done, and I'm just going to do this on one, but once you get that part done, you're going to want to go ahead and snip off your corner, just miter your corner there. And then I just like to do the top too, just so none of it's folding over on itself. And I may take a little bit more off the edges, I don't know. Now, normally when you put your pocket on, you're gonna do your pocket like this, and you're gonna put your glue here, here, and here. And then it just gives you a little bit more room. But what I like to do, and I do quite a bit, is I glue these edges down. I glue them completely down. And then when I glue them in the book, of course, I'll glue my 3 edges. And I have enough room to put a tag. I don't have to load it with a lot because that's not what this is meant for. All right, so we've got the cutting and the scoring done of that. I am going to go off camera, and I'm going to get all of these ready to go, and then we're going to assemble. I'm also going to ink at the same time with Vintage Photo. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have everything ready to go. Couple things as I was getting everything cut out and doing my measurements. I had a few of these wrong, so I went in and made the corrections. So I'm just gonna lay that out so you can take a screenshot of it if you like, and then double check. But yeah, I was measuring, I don't know where my brain was, but so I'll lay that one out. And then there you go. Okay, so first of all, what we want to do is we're going to put this piece on here. Oh, and I need to mention that I was looking for another like layering piece, so I went in and grabbed this from Spring Garden for the pocket. I think it works well, so I grabbed that for this pocket. Because I could have used another one of these, but I was like, I just want something different. So I went in and grabbed that. Oh, it doesn't look like I have that cut right. So I'll fix that one too. What did I do that one at? It was supposed to be 6. And actually, this is 6. So this should be 5 1/4. Good grief. You better do just some double checking, because I don't know that I have them right. So 5 3/4. Okay, just to get that nice little 1/8 of an inch border on each side. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to put this one on, and then I'm going to fix that and put it on this one. And then that'll go like this. Now this one is going to flop over, and then this one is going to flop over. But what I wanted to do here, because this is going to have a magnet, it's going to be a magnet closure. What I'm going to do, I have paper for both sides of these. So I'm going to take my magnet while I'm doing everything else. I'm going to get that centered. Probably about right there. I try to keep it in a little bit so when you put your paper over it, you can kind of form that around this side. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on. If I can grab a hold of it. Fingers don't want to grab this tiny stuff. And I'm putting it, like I said, I'm putting it in enough so that my paper goes over top of it. In fact, I'm going to get it in the middle there. And then my paper's gonna go here. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and just let that set for a minute and let that set up while I'm gonna go ahead and do the other gluing. So I'm gonna glue this one here. I haven't got one for back here yet, haven't quite decided. This one here, and then my pocket. So let's get that done. Guess I don't need to explain to you where I'm going to put it. I can just put it. Just do it. Okay. When I was putting this together, I was like, this would make a cute card too. And it is a card. It is from a card that I found on Pinterest. I'm like, oh, I could make that into a little journal page. Let's see. This could go over just a little bit more, but we're going to leave it. Okay. Now we're going to do this one here. It's the only thing when I'm filming, to keep it in shot for you, it's hard for me to line it up and see where it's supposed to go. And I don't want to always be sticking my head in the camera. But let me pull this a little bit closer to me, just so I can get it. Is that straight? Oh, feeling goofy today. Okay, so I have that one there. And then now we can go ahead and put on this pocket, but I need to get this trimmed down. So 5 3/4. And ink that up again. And I decided to go ahead and ink not only these parts, but I did ink around all of the green too. I just thought it just made it look a little bit sharper. All right, we'll get that one on. Yeah, there's so many of these papers I want to do things with. Hopefully, my goal is to get working a little bit more after these craft shows. So I mention this a lot, but I have a craft shows coming up, and I've been pretty intense on getting ready for those. So I'm going to keep my folded edge to the inside for when I tuck my items. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. Oh, better get that back tucked down or my items will fall out. And then I think I'm going to bring this one just a little bit. I thought about bringing it straight to the edge, but then when I started to put it in there and kind of look at it, I liked where you could see more of that paper on the inside. So that's gonna work. And then say I have my tuck spot here. Okay, so now this is gonna be this part. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that on. This paper just is so springy. It just reminds me of, or just makes me long for spring to get, well, we are in spring, but you wouldn't know it where I'm at. Thunderstorms came through last night and a lot of damage. There was ice storms north of us, and there's a lot of damage that way. I think I can't remember how many they said were out of power. Thankfully, we still have ours, but yeah, they're out of power, and they said 95% should be restored by the end of the day. So let's hope that happens, because it's no fun. It's no fun when you're trying to preserve your food. And I know I've been there plenty of times. All right, so I am this far, and I'm going to go ahead. I don't have a piece for this, but I may use that as well, because this little pocket is going to go here. So I think this would look good up underneath that. Yeah, I think I'll use that too. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this piece on. And all I do is just get it as, you know, sort of looking at me. I get it as tight as I can. I just try to make sure those sort of look even. And then I just lay it down and I kind of press it up there real good. And I hold this real tight and then get my glue on there. On there, not underneath of it, like I did. Get that out of the way before I get it in my, and then I'm just going to press that down real hard. Oh, and I did one thing wrong. I just realized. Don't do what I just did. If you want to use a magnet closure, I forgot to put my magnet underneath this paper. But no worries, I can still fix that. I can just put a little something over top of that once I get it on there. But see, now we have our flip starting to go. And then, because what I wanted to do was put paper up underneath this one and then put it up on this green one. I mean, I could take that off and make another one. No, I'm not gonna. I can fix it. Everything can be fixed. It's not a tragedy. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this glued. My main purpose was to show you how to get the magnet to put the magnet on, and then I went and messed it up, but that's all right. We're gonna just keep marching here. All right, so I'm gonna that. If you don't press your glitter glue down right away, you can kind of move it a little bit. All right, so that's down. And like I said, my main goal was to show you how to put your magnet on, which I can still do. I'm just going to press this edge down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, no, let me put this piece on first before I do that. Let's not get ahead of myself. Slower on down. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I want this piece over here. Again, I'm just going to kind of look at it. Does it look about straight from this point to this point? It looks pretty good. I'm going to bring that back over, keep pressing down. And then put that edge down. Okay. And remember, you're not going to see this back side because when you glue it into your page, whichever way you decide to have your other little tuck spot here. I suppose these could be considered folios, you know, because they sort of have this flip-flop thing going on, but this did come from a card idea. And I just love it. Okay, so now what you want to do to get your marking for your magnet is I'm going to go ahead and let that magnet, that other one, just flip on to the magnet. And then what I'm going to do, before I do that, I should probably tell you, because I'm going to go off camera and come back. I'm going to get that piece ready to go. I have an idea for this one. I might get some tags ready to go. But yeah, I'm going to get that put in there. And I'm going to get this little pocket put in there. And then I will come back. But this is how you want to do your magnet. And I'm telling you all of the other stuff now because I want this to sit for just a minute to make sure it's glued down tight. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take, and make sure you got your right page out. You're going to take your magnet, flop it on there like I just had it. And then you just put a little bit of glue so that you know these magnets are going to come together. You don't want to just put it over here because if you get the negative side and the negative side, I don't know how it works, but you can't have two positives, two negatives. It's got to be however that works for them to come together. Otherwise, they'll fight against each other if you know about magnets, I'm sure. We learned that in school, so I'm sure we all know that. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to press that down. And then now I can see right where that glue is at. Now see, I wanted this up underneath the paper, but since that didn't happen, it's all right. We're gonna go with it. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more glue in that little circle where that magnet had made, put my glue. I'm gonna take my magnet, which is, this side has the glue on it, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put it in that spot. Now once I get something over top of it, it's going to help hold it in as well. But at this point, you don't want to start flipping this over here. This is not set, and you're just going to keep pulling your magnet up. So I'm going to put this aside, let it sit for a minute, do all the other things I talked about, and then I'll be back. And here it is. Okay, I have not finished decorating all of it. I'm going to leave it as is because there's much more to this kit. So again, this is Breath of Spring. Some of the papers. There's a lot more to this kit. I'm telling you, go check it out. So I have the doilies were in there, so that went perfect over that magnet. And then when the book closes, it just keeps that all shut for when you're turning your pages. Now, the reason I'm not gonna decorate all of it right now is because my hope is I can actually make a journal out of this kit. And I could use it in another kit too, because sometimes when you go in, you can find things that coordinate. Like I think off of the garden, what was the other one? Spring Garden. This was Breath of Spring, Spring Garden. You know, you can find papers that you can intertwine. So this was part of Breath of Spring. So there's still a lot more that I can do to this. You know, I can add a butterfly here. And this isn't an exhaustive example, but there are some things I can do. But anyway, as you open it up, over here, I took part of that garden, wait a minute, I can't remember all the names, I got to keep them, Spring Garden, that paper I had run for this. And I thought, all right, I will just cut some of that off, and then I'm going to make this just a little paper flip for journaling. And I used this border punch that I have, but you don't need that. You can use pretty scissors. You can just leave it flat. You can use a border punch. Yeah, you don't have to have all the fancy stuff. Anyway, but now this is going to be a pocket. Now I can make a tag out of that. Actually, I might do that for that. This is another pocket. See, a small little tag will fit in there. See, I can do 2 tags because I got that one too. And then, let's see. I may add something to this one. I may add sort of like a hidden belly band in here. And then I will have another little tuck spot that will come across. And then... yeah, so the sky's the limit. You can add as much or take away as much. But when you're working on, or you want to work on a book and you just don't have a whole lot of time, you know, just start thinking about elements and pieces and stuff that you can cut out and start to get ready for the book. So let me bring my other one back in. And... a lot of time, this one looks like it might be a little bit big for the size that I use, unless I do a bigger book. But a lot of times these are really great on back covers because they just don't, when you're using regular paper, this particular one's a little bit heavy. So when I do get ready to do the journal, I'll probably put it on the back cover. But then, as I was saying, you can either do the 3 sides and have a tuck spot from up here, or you can have a tuck spot here. So yeah, go and grab some paper. I will put all of Carolyn's links in my description box. And then remember, keep your eyes out on my channel because my brain's working on this one now. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.